In the early days of the current console generation, a trend began, which still continues to this day. It started simply enough, the centerpiece being a dilapidated or destroyed world. Both as a player and as the main character, you're thrust into this entirely foreign landscape. The society you're familiar with is gone, and the only rule that matters is do what you must to survive. This is the description of many games in essence, but only a handful published in recent history should come to mind, especially at the utterance of the word Wasteland. No matter what game it brings to mind, the fact is, for years now gamers have been navigating the trash piles of societies that have long since seen their fall. We're escaping into a different wasteland every year, but where did it all begin? When did the trend and our recent love for the wasteland start? It began back in August of 2007 with the release of Bioshock. This may not seem like the right game to start with, but it stands as the precursor. It introduced the environment and gameplay that Wasteland games all feature to some degree today. Bioshock takes place in a city called Rapture, which was built in the 1950s under the Atlantic Ocean, but was half destroyed due to a civil war that occurred before your arrival. It combined traditional first-person shooter mechanics with light RPG-style augmentations. The game was a smash success, and most importantly, it left an enormous impression on gamers everywhere. Bioshock ended up functioning like a warm-up, getting people used to seeing a 1950s world that had been torn apart. And the game that benefited from this warm-up is represented by a phrase we've all come to know and love.
War. War never changes.
It was on October 28th of 2008 that the real Wasteland experience began, with the release of Fallout 3. You play as an outcast of an underground fallout shelter known as a vault. Outside are the post-nuclear ruins of Washington, D.C. and its surrounding areas. The world is permeated with 1950s nostalgia, and even though the game is an RPG at heart, it plays much like a first-person shooter. Thus is the reason why Fallout 3 played off of the prior success of Bioshock. Both games have 1950s nostalgia, take place in an environment that was destroyed, and play as a mix of both FPS and RPG. The only thing Fallout 3 did new in establishing the trend was bring an open world to the table in the form of a wasteland. The result was another smash success, and gamers everywhere found themselves combing through trash piles for another holiday season. This is where it should have ended. Games featuring a wasteland are uncommon, so seeing another one that could carry the weight of what Bioshock and Fallout 3 had started was terribly unlikely. And yet, that game came. During late October of 2009, a small game was released featuring, you guessed it, a wasteland. It was a first-person shooter which bore a striking resemblance to Fallout 3. The game was called Borderlands. With its release, the wasteland officially became a trend, and was no longer a fleeting environment to be seen only once every few years. In the game, you play as a treasure hunter, searching for a fabled vault on the desert planet of Pandora. The game plays as an FPS, but is heavily injected with RPG elements. On all accounts, Borderlands was a game put together well enough to be moderately successful, if nothing more. However, because gamers came into a new holiday season already having high opinions of adventures in the wasteland, Borderlands inadvertently ended up becoming the new seasonal game to carry the torch. And once again, for another year, gamers could toil away with another great wasteland experience. When it came time for Borderlands to pass the torch off, though, it was given to the most appropriate game possible. On October 19, 2010, the Wasteland returned to its post-apocalyptic roots with the release of Fallout New Vegas. While it was mostly just like Fallout 3, several massive gameplay improvements were implemented. As a result, New Vegas moved Fallout several steps closer to resembling an FPS, even though it was still clearly an RPG at heart. As for the story, your status as a Vault outcast was traded for that of a courier lucky enough to survive being shot in the face. Even though New Vegas was still enormously successful, it was met with some mixed feelings, many of them stemming from the largest thing New Vegas brought to the table for the Wasteland experience: a rebuilt society. No matter the changes and their reception, the game still took place in a wasteland, and fueled many players' insatiable appetites for post-apocalyptic antics. This is where things set today. However, the holiday is drawing ever closer once again, and it's already been decided which game will receive the Wasteland torch. In early October of 2011, the next game to drop you into the twisted wreckage of the post-apocalyptic Earth will be released: Rage. You play as the sole survivor of an Ark, a large device that was buried underground to save humanity from the horrors caused by the Apophis meteorite that hit the Earth 100 years earlier. Even though it's been described as a first-person shooter at heart, light RPG elements appear, including weapon customization and special ammo types. The environment is varied as well, with mutant-infested city ruins, sewers overrun with bandits, professionally defended military installations, and large vehicle combat areas in between making up the world space. Only time will tell if Rage will live up to its promises and carry the Wasteland torch properly. To be certain, though, Rage is a game to be on the lookout for, especially for those of you who love the Wasteland. Bioshock, Fallout 3, Borderlands, New Vegas, and now Rage. That's where the Wasteland started, has been, and is going. As it stands, there's only one question left. What does the future hold for the Wasteland? Will it end with the release of Rage, or will it continue to prosper for many years to come? Maybe the Wasteland will end up merging into another game trend. No one knows, but what do you think? I've said a lot here, and you probably have more than one opinion by now, so do me a favor and hit the comments. Put your own ideas out there in the open. Until next time, this has been a video blog by William Strife for B10g.net, July 18th, 2011. Strife out.